Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about the Practical Ethical Hacking course by TCM Security, Heath Adams, the Cyber Mentor. And this is the main course that prepares you for the PNPT, or the Practical Network Pen Tester certification. So this is the course right here. And as you can see, I'm 60% complete. So I haven't finished the entire thing. But I wanted to do this review. I've seen many videos out there and read a lot of reviews about this. And so I wanted to provide my own. So let's get started. So some of the things that I like about the practical ethical hacking is the amount of topics that are covered, even to small ones that usually when you're thinking about penetration testing or hacking, you don't really consider. However, if you want to be a professional, you would need it. And that would be, for example, note keeping. So Heath does have a couple of videos in there with effective note keeping, how to keep your notes, important tools. Of course, at the end, it's going to depend on you. Anyways, then he starts off with the networking refresher. So as you can see, some topics here include IP addresses, MAC addresses, TCP, UDP, common ports and protocols, OSI model, subnetting, etc. Teaches you how to set up a lab with VMware or VirtualBox. Covers an introduction to Linux, basically basic Linux commands, how to edit in files, etc. There's an introduction to Python, which is pretty interesting to me. I think it was, I haven't really covered it. I just went through these really quickly. As far as I know, you don't need this knowledge to take the exam or pass the exam. Ethical hacking methodology, a 5-minute video on what the 5 stages are of ethical hacking in case you don't know. Information gathering, right? So passive reconnaissance, what is the difference between that and active reconnaissance? How to discover email addresses, how to hunt for subdomains, identify different website technologies, a little bit of Google foo, and additional learning OSINT fundamentals. He also has an additional course to this one, focused specifically on OSINT. Then we go to scanning and enumeration. And in scanning and enumeration, you can see there's not many videos. Here, the scanning and enumeration, the examples are going to be performed on Chioptrix. If you're not aware of Chioptrix, you've never heard of it. Chioptrix is a virtual machine box, and you can find it in VulnHub, so you can download it yourself. It wasn't created by TCM Security. You can download it yourself. You can play with it. You can go through walkthroughs or even YouTube videos on how to do it, but he uses this as an example. So on this box, you're going to perform some Nmap scans. He's going to teach you in 30 minutes how to enumerate some HTTP, HTTPS, how to enumerate SMB, SSH. So basically your main services that you usually see running on a machine, and how to research potential vulnerabilities. Cool. Couple of videos on vulnerability scanning with Nessus. Nessus is an automatic scanner. It's free. The community edition is free. So you can download that. He's going to talk about reverse shells versus bind shells, stage versus non-stage payloads, okay? Metasploit, brute force attacks, credential stuffing, and password spraying. And then you hit the capstone. And the capstone is basically right in the middle of the course. You have several boxes. So you have Blue, Academy, Dev, Butler, and Black Pearl, those 4 or 5 boxes that you want to install on your computer. So by the way, these are VM images stored in Google Drive that you download and you install. He does provide the videos on how to install them and how to run them. So there's no problem there. However, just be aware that you will need a computer, right, with enough RAM, with enough disk space to install this, to download the image, install it, and run it. So just be aware of that. Right after that, it moves on to buffer overflows. So you're going to do the buffer overflows, and then after that, Active Directory. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections of Active Directory. Then you're going to go to post exploitation. What do you do after you exploit a machine? It's going to show you how to do some file transfers, maintain access, pivoting lab setup, pivoting walkthrough, etc. Web application. So the enumeration of web application. So basically install GoBuster, which is to identify files and directories for a web server. Find some subdomains again. Kind of this would go together with what's covered in under information gathering. How to automate some of the enumeration process. So he shares a couple of small scripts where you basically go through the video together with him and create a script that will run several tools consecutively so that it saves you a little bit of time, right? Now we move on to web application, and the focus is on the top 10 web application vulnerabilities. There's an introduction, a read-through of what OWASP says about them, and then some of these have a quick example, I guess, on each one, on how to perform it, what it's about, and it goes through that. Then you have wireless penetration testing, legal documents report writing, and then some career advice. Okay, so as you can see, it is broad for sure, and it covers a lot of useful topics. So all of that is really good, and I really like that. I think that this is it does cover a lot of the things that you will see. So he's compiled a lot of material around it. So some of the things that I like about this course is that Heath is an excellent communicator. He speaks slowly, concisely, very clearly, and he has a knack for teaching. He's definitely a teacher at heart. I don't know if he knows this or not, but he's definitely is. And he explains things very well spoken. It's very easy to understand, which is a great talent, a great skill to have, especially in a field as technical as penetration testing or information technology in general, right? You have to be able to dissect what you're teaching so that you can provide your students bite-sized learning material. And he does a great job with that. Another thing that I like about this course is that it's videos, so you're not going to be killed by PowerPoint. I don't mind PowerPoint, quite honestly. It doesn't kill me. I could take PowerPoint any day and time. But the videos are refreshing. I think that it's easier to spend hours watching videos rather than reading PowerPoints. That's just how it is today, right? That's our society. We watch video rather than read. Another thing that I like is, where is it? In the networking refresher, the subnetting part, these videos are really, really good. He teaches you a couple of tricks that he learned from previous jobs and previous mentors on how to decipher the subnetting and how to figure that out, right? When is it a /8? When is it a /24, a /16? And how to write it down. I've forgotten by now, but I did write down the tips and tricks, so I should go and review this again. But it's really good. It's really good. This I hadn't seen before, so that was awesome. Another thing that I liked in information gathering is he uses stories and experiences that he shares with you to give you an idea of, okay, this actually happens in the wild. Like, companies are actually vulnerable to this. So it gives you an idea of, okay, what I'm learning is realistic. So that is very cool. Not that the material is way different to what I've seen in the past. However, there is material here that was new to me. So let's see if I can find some of them. This, for example, the gathering breached credentials and breach parse, hunting breach credentials with dehashed. So when it came to finding emails, finding credentials, he provides certain websites. He provides certain techniques that he uses on how to do that. I really liked his hunting subdomains as well, the part 1 and part 2. So I like the background that he gives on these because, again, the subdomain ones, I've seen the tools before. I think that he adds a couple of tools that I hadn't seen before. But for the subdomains, the information given is not vastly different to what I've seen with other courses, with other platforms. However, what really does add to it is that he'll give examples that he has seen in real life. So that really adds a lot of oomph behind it, and it gives you certain ideas on what to do when you're doing a penetration test and what to look for. So that's pretty cool. I like that, right? And he can do that because he's a professional penetration tester. So he's done this for a living. He still does it with his own company now. So you will get those nuggets of invaluable information. So now onto the things that I didn't like as much. So the capstone area, you have these 5 boxes. The 5 boxes, with the exception of the first one, blue, they're pretty hard. And the capstone is set to, right, he says that the capstone is there to challenge you and to test you on what you have learned. He does caveat that there will be things that you see there that we haven't covered yet in the course. And to be quite honest, you will see things that he doesn't cover in the material at all. I could be wrong. But what I remember, though, is that there were certain things that were not there yet, right? And as you can see, that I started doing the capstone, and I skipped to do the post exploitation, to do the web application, and to do the top 10 web application vulnerabilities, because I started to see things that I'm like, I don't know how to test this. I'm going through my notes of all of the things that were covered, all the tools, the techniques, and I'm like, none of this is working. None of this is giving me the answer. I don't know what to do next. So I would have to go look at the walkthrough and be like, okay, that's what's done. But the frustrating part is that this hadn't been covered yet. This hadn't been covered in the material, in the course yet. And again, some things are not covered in the course at all. And if I'm wrong, let me know. Okay, I'm not trying to bash the course or anything like that. I'm just giving you my experience so that I want you to go, and when you get a course or you review a course, I want you to know what to expect. So I want to give the most realistic, balanced, and sober reviews that I can, and just share with you my honest opinion, because that's what's best. So that's with the boxes, right? So besides that, I think that the boxes definitely go up in difficulty. So I do like that. So it starts you off a little easy, and then it goes harder. Again, I wish that the boxes would only include techniques that have been taught, because it just feels good to apply what you learned and hack into that. Now, again, to be totally fair, Heath does say that, hey, these will be challenging. It's not going to be easy, and it's meant to be a learning experience, meaning that there will be certain things that we haven't covered and that you just have to Google and work through. But as a noob, right, how can I Google and how can I know what I need to do with if I have no idea what's possible? And I think that that's one of the problems with, studying penetration testing without having a solid background of the fundamentals. And by solid, I mean like years of experience with the fundamentals, right? I think that that's one of the challenges that people on the same boat as me are going to see. But nevertheless, we'll get through it, right? There's ways of going through it, of learning. It's by taking good notes, just keep doing boxes, etc. So that's the capstone. Also, I think that a good idea would be to have this capstone maybe at the end. Maybe have these 5 boxes at the end, or split the capstone in 2. Right, mid-course. I like the idea of going mid-course and then practicing all the things that you have just taken notes on, all the things that you have just practiced on a VM like Chioptrix, and do it on some VMs that are private. These are VMs that they have created. So you won't find any walkthroughs out there or anything like that, with the exception of the videos that they made, which is cool because that way you're not tempted to cheat. You Google something and then the box comes up and you're like, let me just read the little description that Google gives you, see if I can get any tidbits without cheating, right? So I like that. I do like the capstone boxes. You will learn. So the second part that I guess another weakness of the course would be the testing the top 10 web application vulnerabilities. These, I think what Heath does really well is, and I like his approach of, hey, let's walk through the 10 of them. If you've never seen them before, this is a great introduction to each one and what each one is about. Now, mind you, not all of them have an example. So you're not going to see every single one of them in action. The second thing is that it's really just that. It really is just an introduction. It's just an introduction to each one. It's dipping your toe in the water. This is not a deep dive into web application, and I think that that's one of the weaker sides of this course. It's not going to really prepare you in web application. It's just going to introduce you to it, and at that point you can do more research, you can do more exercises, etc. The examples done here, he uses OWASP Juice Shop. It's a pretty cool freely available VM that you can download, and you can download the VM on your computer, run it, and then perform. There's a series of challenges there. So this is the OWASP Juice Shop, right? You can find it at owasp.org. You can just Google OWASP Juice Shop and click the link and it'll take you here. But that's just basically it, right? It's an insecure web application, and it's pretty cool because he's made it seem like an actual juice shop store. So you go in, there's different types of juices, there's reviews, there's admins, there's logins, etc. So it's pretty complex. It's not like one of those 2D or 1D web pages that, it's everything is in Latin. It doesn't really have much info. This goes into detail. So it's available for you. You don't have to buy the TCM, the Practical Ethical Hacking course to do it. This is where you can download it from. Okay, you can download it from the GitHub or for Docker to install it. If you just go here, you can find some documentation and then the sources on where to download it. Or you can just do it in TryHackMe as well. This is freely available. You can do it in TryHackMe, spin up this box, and then start attacking it right away. Anyways, but going back to the PEH, like Chioptrix was used on the network penetration side to test and give you examples on how to use Nmap and different Nmap scripts, and how to perform certain exploitations. For the web app, you're going to use the OWASP Juice Shop, and then he's going to use that as an example and go through certain of those. Some of those don't have, and this is where I also want to be fair, some of those don't have an example, right? Some of the OWASP top 10, because the Juice Shop is being used. And even the Juice Shop itself will tell you, hey, there's certain attacks here that are potentially dangerous, that will bring down the application or could cause some harm to the computer, so they won't be performed. But I just want you to know that you're not going to be performing an example for every single one of these attacks if that's what you're expecting. So I just want you to know that. But a lot of these do have an example, and it's a good start, right? I think that what this course is really good at doing is introducing you to certain topics, and then you have to take it on upon yourself to go further and do more than what is taught to you. So with this, you're going to have to go above and beyond. You're going to have that, willingness and boldness to just go out into the unknown and do more. So, for example, with the OWASP Juice Shop, I basically did a lot of the examples on my own. I popped up. I didn't want to install it, so I just did it from TryHackMe. It's free, and I started going through the different challenges. And watching some videos on how to perform it, reperform it myself, and it was very educational. Nevertheless, this doesn't go very deep when it comes to web application testing. It's an introduction. So you're not going to be a web application hacker after taking this course. The wireless penetration testing, I'm looking forward to doing it. I haven't done it yet, so I can't speak to it. I also can't speak to the Active Directory portion because I haven't done it yet. However, I'm really looking forward to it. I've read and heard that this is one of the core strengths of this course, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. So overall, I really like this course. I think that this is a great course. I think that the broad material that it covers is really good. I like that it has all of these topics from Active Directory to buffer overflows to web application to enumeration, information gathering. So I think that from the 5 different phases of penetration testing, it covers a lot of material. Taking this course is not going to make you a pro, right? It's what it does is that it takes you and introduces you to these different tools. It introduces you to the different methodologies. It introduces you to how to write reports, Active Directory, all of these different technologies. But what it doesn't do, it's not going to take you deep and give you extensive practice on every single thing that you have learned. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen a course that does that yet. The EJPT, I do like that they have a lot of labs, albeit they're small labs, but I do like that after every single section, they have a small lab for you to reperform. So kind of the setup there is that you watch a video, it tells you, what to do. Then you have that lab and you can kind of follow along with the video or watch the video, take notes, and then reperform it yourself. And then get whatever information for the questions that it asks you. So I do like that. And they have a ton of labs there too. But EJPT and PNPT are not to be compared. They're different certifications. You can't compare them, right? The EJPT does not cover the same amount of topics that the PNPT does, right? The EJPT doesn't. The PNPT does. So we have to be fair. I think that we cannot compare EJPT to PNPT. EJPT is for beginners. It's crafted for people who don't have any background in penetration testing and want to get into the field. It's even crafted for people who don't have a strong background in the foundation and the fundamentals of information technology. It assumes that you know nothing, and then it introduces you to penetration testing. It introduces you to the main services and to some main methodologies, but that is it. The PNPT assumes that you have certain knowledge. It does assume that you have a background in networking, in Linux, and all of these different things, which is curious because, yes, they do include an introduction to Linux, which is like very basic things, right? Like users and privileges, how to navigate the file system, and things like that, which is very basic. It's very foundational. But then at the same time, you have buffer overflows right over here, which is pretty complex for somebody who hasn't done them before. So it's interesting that you have that. I don't think that it removes any points from them for including the intro to Linux, But I wouldn't recommend this course for somebody who's just starting out, who has no background. I think that for that person, I would probably recommend, the Security Plus to just start getting some knowledge. The EJPT, I would tell them, go try Hack Me and go do the different learning paths there. And after you've done some of those, then I think the PNPT would be a good option for you, because the PNPT is now going to expand and broaden your horizon and introduce you to all of these extra tools and processes and prepare you to do a pen test and write a report on that pen test, which I think is a pretty good differentiator between a PNPT and potentially other certifications. The EJPT, for example, you don't write a report on penetration testing, as you shouldn't, because it is an introduction to penetration testing, to the basics of penetration testing. It doesn't make you a penetration tester. I think that this is crafting you and molding you to become a penetration tester. That's what I like about the PNPT. So overall, I think the PNPT is good. It covers a ton of topics, as you can see, and it's wide ranging. It covers the main topics: buffer overflows, Active Directory, network penetration testing, web application penetration testing, wireless, right? So you can already see all of those things. And that's without even going into and looking at the OSINT course. That's without looking at the Windows privilege and the Linux privilege escalation, which if you pay the $399, you will get all of those as well, plus a voucher to take the exam. So all of that is to say that I think this is a pretty good course. I wouldn't take it as a complete noob. I think that I would go for EJPT, try Hack Me, do some Vuln Hub, etc., and then work your way here. And what I would also recommend, if you are doing the PNPT or you are planning on taking it, is start Hack the Box. So what I did was, man, and this video is going to be so long too. I always do my long videos. Anyways, so what I did here is that I went through basically the majority of this course, with the exception of Active Directory. And what else did I skip here? Oh, and buffer overflows. Okay, so I skipped those two because to me those are a little more advanced. So I'm putting those aside, and I did everything else. So from information gathering to enumeration to exploitation and post-exploitation. Okay. Privilege escalation I have also skipped. I should have probably done that, but I skipped that. Anyways, so I did all of that, and now what I'm doing is that I'm going through Hack the Box. So I understand that not everybody can do this, because for Hack the Box you do have to pay. You have to pay $14 a month US if you want to do the retired machines. And what I'm doing is that I'm doing the retired machines, and I'm doing all the easy. So right now I've started doing all of the easy ones. So you can see I've completed all of these. And really what this experience has been like for me is I go do everything as much as I can. I get stuck. I watch IPSEC's video on how he does things, and I take notes, and then I'll follow along and hack it myself. And then the plan is to go through all of the easy boxes. So there's a lot here, as you can see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so 14 times 6 pages. That's going to be 24. So about 84 boxes, if I calculated correctly, right? 84 easy boxes. And then after I've done that, I'm going to continue on with the PNPT. Is it necessary? I don't know. I haven't done the exam yet. Is it necessary? To me, it's necessary based off of the Capstone, right? I did the Capstone, and I didn't know how to do those things, and I felt like I needed more practice. And there were things that I hadn't seen in the course yet, so let me go get more practice. Let me go also practice what I'm doing here in the course, because what was going on with me is that, okay, I've taken the AJPT, I've been going from course to course, but and that is good. But part of learning is not just watching videos, taking notes, and then, reperforming some of the commands. Part of doing is actually hacking and getting hands-on and putting into practice the things that you learn and see if you can figure things out based off of the tools, the methodologies, etc. So I'm doing Hack the Box to kind of just exercise those muscles, right? That I've learned through EJPT, that I'm learning through the PNPT. So I'm doing that. And then the idea is going to be, once I've done all of the easy, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to finish the rest of the course, do the other courses like privilege escalation, the OSINT, and take the exam. So it's probably going to be a few months because I have to go through these boxes and there's quite a bit of them. But yeah, that's how it's going. So I hope this video provided some value to you. I hope this video either makes you want to take the PNPT or is going to help you to, you know what? Let me not take the PNPT right away. Let me first do something else and then take the PNPT. I hope it provided value to you and some good information. Anyways, leave me a comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are. If you've taken the PNPT, plan to take the PNPT. If you did take it, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the course? What were your thoughts on the exam? What tips do you have? What did you like? What did you dislike? So I'm always really interested of learning from the community and see what you guys think as well. So anyways, much love. I'll talk to you guys later.